Good evening. I'm Michele Greenstein, filling in for Rick Sanchez. It's hardly a secret that a majority of the federal budget here in the U.S. goes to our so-called Defense Department. Why is this the case? Well, here's one reason. Those who make the decisions about when and where we go to war and how much we spend on these wars and occupations often have a vested material interest in the U.S. spending money on the military. They make money when we go to war. Here's the latest egregious example of this phenomenon. James Mattis was appointed by President Trump to be the Secretary of Defense a couple years ago. Many of us came to know him as Mad Dog Mattis, a nickname given to him by the press. But what fewer people knew was that he was fresh off the board of General Dynamics at the time. General Dynamics, the sixth largest so-called defense contractor on Earth. This is the man that was the head of the Defense Department. Well, now, guess what? He's rejoining the General Dynamics Board of Directors. And why is this significant? Well, we took a peek into the General Dynamics recent SEC filing, and we're going to put it up on the screen for you. Here's what the company says. In 2018, 65% of our consolidated revenue was from the U.S. government. Our primary customer is the U.S. Department of Defense. Think about that for a moment. This company relies on one single customer for a majority of its revenue. It would almost be more conspiratorial to suggest that this company doesn't want to make sure the U.S. government stays at war. After all, war is literally good for business. And let's not pretend that this began with Mr. Trump, or that this is a uniquely Republican experience. President Obama, despite promising during his campaign not to hire any lobbyists, nominated Raytheon senior executive William Lynn to be second in command at the DoD. And Raytheon, too, makes a majority of its sales from the U.S. government. 81% of their sales, in fact, came from the U.S. government last year in 2018. But let's not pretend this only exists in the Pentagon. Here's the current Senate Armed Services Committee and the amount each of them has taken from the defense industry, according to the records that are publicly available. We're going to put that up on the screen for you. These are the men and women with the power to make decisions about when we spend our money, where we spend our money on the military. And again, both Democrats and Republicans have blood on their hands in this regard. And let's also not forget who loses in this fixed system, a system in which those who profit from weapon sales have positions in a so-called representative government. It's the 85,000 children of Yemen who've died due to man-made famines created by a Saudi-led blockade that would have no power at all if not for the U.S.-made weapons and planes. It's the family of the 1.4 million dead Iraqi civilians who will never see their loved ones thanks to defense contractors like Halliburton. And it's the U.S. citizen whose federal government seems to have no money left for their roads, bridges, housing, or health care. It's the news with Rick Sanchez. Let's do news again.
So you haven't heard that we're the ones covering the stories that you won't see covered anywhere else? In Venezuela, Kazakhstan, let's go to Hong Kong. And the media reaction to that has been crickets. How about the way we cover those stories? What the hell does that mean? Wally. That's the key word in this case, uprising. Keep? Can you believe that? Watching. This is the right thing for members of the media to do, to actually pick sides. Look, if you like what you see, subscribe.